Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. This is a new feature on the Choralist Conversations, the Choir Hour. If you are watching these conversations for the first time, these conversations started about 14 weeks ago. They are meant to engage choral musicians and those that are close to choral music. And I decided that from this week, I want to start engaging choirs because we've been on lockdown for like 5 months now. And some choirs hadn't started when the lockdown was introduced. So I wanted to catch up with choirs, hear what they are doing, and perhaps learn about their struggles or challenges, if there are any, and what we can do, to come up with solutions to those challenges. And this is why this evening I am joined by Kopano Chorus, the conductor, and two members of the management team in the Kopano Chorus. We all know the conductor is Monty Manamela. We call him King Saul. Let me bring him up so that we can start the conversation. King Saul, how are you?
Good evening, sir. I'm safe. How are you doing?
I'm all right. You had a very busy day today. How has it been?
I mean, I do car detailing. That's why I'm still in my work suit.
Sure. No, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So you're not only a musician, you're also a businessman.
I'm a businessman, my brother. I'm an artist. Car detailing needs art, so
yeah, it does.
I'm a full yes.
And how do you cope with the two? Because I mean, this music thing is very demanding. And with you, I always see you around the country, be it at schools or you assisting choirs. How do you balance that?
I started this company in the year 2014. So it was actually running by itself. And after the COVID, I back and asked for a job and say, guys, can I really work with you? Because it's really tough. So yeah, and before then, I was just feeding my passion through and through, which is music. I think you know that. So I was just visiting. I was only peeping through the window and checking how are things going. But now I've decided, I have to be hands-on. So I'm employed by Tsepang Auto Clinic.
Okay.
Yeah, it's my brainchild. But
that you started in 2014.
Yes, I started it in 2014. It's my brainchild. Do I have a space?
Okay. All right. Before we get deeper into the conversation, let me invite in your management team, Simon Ditsejo and Katleho Boise, so that we can also greet them as well. Whilst Katleho is loading. Mr. Ditsejo, can you introduce yourself and tell us a bit about what you do in the Kopano Chorus?
Oh yeah, thank you a lot. My name is Simon Ditsejo. A full member of Kopano Choir. Joined in 2017. I'm a baritone singer. I was fortunate to be co-opted into the management in the previous year to assist the sheep to work with the soldiers there to make sure that the Kopano Choir move to the direction it wants to move to, or move quickly as it is already moving. So that is what I do. I'm in the committee. I'm in the task team, in the management, assisting quite a lot with regards to the management of the choir and all that.
That's great. Your voice doesn't sound like you are one of those deep basses. I mean, whenever I listen to Kopano, the bass is like, I don't know how do you do that?
Yeah, the entire said the baritone. I will not even try to lie and say I'm a bass. I'm
Or to
not
run
even.
with Abo Thomas.
Yeah, no, I don't come near Thomas. Yeah, no, those are our great basses. Yeah, so I'm quite in the range of the baritone. Yeah, that's why I'm comfortable.
Okay, let's bring in Katlego now that she's back. It seems like Katlego is having network challenges. Katlego, can you hear us?
Could you try again?
Katlego, can you hear us? Yeah, it seems like Katlego is experiencing network challenges, but it's fine. We will wait until she comes back and then we speak with her. Monty, when did you start with Kopano Chorus as a conductor? Because I know you came from somewhere. At some point, you were singing for Gauteng choristers. So when did you start as a conductor?
Sure. I think I started conducting at a very tender age, my brother. I conducted back at home, Bukamuso Senior Secondary School. I conducted Pala Senior Secondary School. I conducted Pretoria West College of Engineering, and I sang with Pretoria Technicon. And at some point, my conductor would, from time to time, Kagiso Munyai, from time to time would assign me some task. Technically, would say I was assisting, but not officially. And then I conducted Amazwikantu. I think that's where the journey started. Actually, I conducted Amazwikantu. I conducted Kopano Chorus. Oh, I jumped one stage. I was with the Shiro Choral Society as well. So it has been a long journey.
So were you part of the people that formed Kopano Chorus, or you just came in as a conductor?
I'm actually the founder. I'm the founder of Kopano Chorus. When we left from Amazwikantu, because life evolves. People see things differently as we grow. I would safely say there was necessarily nothing wrong with me and Amazwikantu. Basically, we just eventually saw things differently because of growth. And then I decided, you know what, I need to start a new choir. But you see, when you talk about a choir, you can't talk about I. You need to talk about you need to get people, and then you work as a collective. And then I invited the 4 gentlemen, which was Mahotla, Advocate Munyai, and then Mulai, sorry, I beg your pardon. And then I invited Gustavius Makoloi, Kabelo Matabani, and Mr. Vincent Moyo. Then I told them about the vision. I said, you know what, I need to start this choir because we need to go 1, 2, 3, 4. It was my vision initially when I was dreaming, but immediately when I sold them each to them, it became ours.
It became a collective now, yeah.
It was a collective, and hence Kopano, because Kopano means we have gathered, and we can't explain it any further. So from then on, the rest is history.
Indeed. I see that Katlego is back. Katlego, how are you?
Hi, I'm well, thanks, and you, Mr. Njeza?
I'm all right. Thank you for joining us this evening. Can you tell us a bit about your role in the management of Kopano Chorus? What do you do there?
Well, I am the secretary of Kopano Chorus, so my main duty revolves around communication mainly. But as you know, the leadership of Kopano Chorus is comprised of different people. So we fill in each other's roles as and when needed. So we don't have really, I'm a secretary, but at any point, if the treasurer is not available, I can fill that role easily. So we are all flexible. We
Okay,
all
so
run for the good of the choir.
So how long have you been in that role? Or in management generally?
In management, so I started in Kopano Chorus. I started singing with them in 2006, and I think 3 years after that, I got into a leadership role in Kopano Chorus. So I've been in and out of a leadership. Last year, I did take maternity leave, and I am back this year. So I know the in and outs of the choir and the running of the choir, basically.
That's lovely. Mr. Manamela, Mr. Matela says you made a great decision by forming the mighty Kopano Chorus, and I agree. Because Kopano Chorus has been a game changer in many ways. You know, from the days you were in standard section to now that you are part of one of the choirs that are dominating in the large section of NCF. So you did a great job by starting Kopano Chorus. I see Uditejo is gone. Maybe he's experiencing network challenges. That is our lives at this point in time. We live through the network. There's nothing we can do. And
Yes,
we have, and the country has not really invested in good network coverage in many areas, you know. So let's live with it. So, Katlev, let me start with you regarding the plans for 2020, because you are in the management. So, what were some of the projects that you had planned as a choir now for 2020? Katlev, how did you get me?
Mr. Manamela?
Katlev, can you hear me?
Yes, Miss Boyce.
Miss Boyce, can you see?
I beg your pardon, sir?
Yes, I was asking.
I can hear you. Can you please repeat?
Yeah, no, I was asking, what are some of the projects that you guys as a choir had planned for 2020? What are you planning to do for 2020?
We had planned to have a concert in the year 2020, and the theme of the concert was to honor our fallen choristers, such as last year we lost a chorister in our choir, Ntlantlanga, and the choral music industry as a whole lost a lot of people. So we were hoping to have a concert where we can remember and honor the people who lived and loved choral music. And we had engaged already with Mr. Qinisela CBC to compose music specifically around that. So that was one of the projects we had. And that project was headed up, or one of the leaders of that project was Mr. Ditsejo with Mr. Manamela. So maybe they can give us further details on that.
Let me call Mr. Ditsejo first. Do you want to add on what Katlev was saying?
Yeah, I think she summarized it very well. What we intended to do was to have this massive concert where we cover the stalwarts, as she has put it, those that have departed and that were with us in the choral fraternity. So we were hoping to host the concert somewhere towards the end of the year, probably around September, October. We didn't want it to be in winter where people will not be comfortable. So I think Mrs. Boyce actually summarized it very well, that the planning of the concert was already done. The structure of the concert was already done. we were only left with a few logistics that we needed to work around in terms of finalizing and start preparing for the music. We had also worked on compiled the music for the concert. Everything was already there. All what we needed to do was to get the sheet music, so that we start, we compile booklets and we give to choristers. Then we start with rehearsals. Because remember, we have choristers all over the country. So the plan was to make sure that we actually distribute the music to everybody. Those that are not around Pretoria can be able to practice on their own. So we were actually far in terms of planning for the concert. We were far. Unfortunately, COVID came in, but we are not. We are not lost in the idea. We are still thinking about it. We are still on it, and the concert will happen. Whether it happens 2020 or when, but the concert will happen as planned, and we are moving forward with the plan. Yeah.
So when was it going to happen in your original plan?
It was supposed to happen in October.
In October.
Yes.
Okay. So Mr. Manamela, let me come to you with somewhat a different question, but based on this project. Currently, as a choral industry, whenever one of us is deceased, we have a challenge of not having enough resources to bury them in most cases. And because your project was looking at honoring those that have passed, is there something that you guys are thinking about as a choir, so that when the unfortunate happens, there is something that can be assisting in that process of burying the chorister? Is there a thought around that?
I'm starting to doubt who you are, Mr. Njeza, because it's like you're reading my mind. Before I attempt to answer your question, maybe let me just quickly make an bend on what they've just said quickly with regards to preparation of the concert. We did involve the families. We spoke to Reverend Yakala's family to say we want to honor our own pastor. We spoke to Mrs. Maredi's family as well, to saying, remember, Amazukantu gave birth to Kopano Chorus. And I don't want people to can falter that. So there's no way that we can talk about Kopano Chorus and ignore Amazukantu. So her passing on really did cut us deeper than deep. So we did speak to the family as well, and they did welcome our suggestion. And the family of the Reverend Yaklas, and then we spoke to the Langa family as well. We're trying to make a communication with Dr. Tamjana's family as well, so that we can really include everybody else that had actually passed on from our craft. Because, like I said, Kopano Chorus means togetherness. Let's be together. Yes, yeah. Maybe moving forward to your question, I spoke to Sikni Masetle. A long time ago, we spoke about trying to create a policy for choirs and so on, so that we should really try to refrain from this thing of donating rands and cents when somebody has passed on. And the one thing that I like about my own self and the people that I associate with, we don't own ideas. We people who are actually open-minded. We're not even transparent. We're actually translucent. Whoever else who gets to the terminus first, whoever else get to the golden post first, by all means, because it's about achieving. It's about getting the results. So we spoke about it. We have already approached Nedbank, and Nedbank said, we are very much interested in doing this for you, because we know many of our choralists are from disadvantaged families. Without trying to gauge people, but the truth must be said. So I mean, sometimes when somebody passed on and you're expected to pay 100 rands, unfortunately, you don't have it by then, but your heart in heart of hearts, you know you want to do it, but you can't because of circumstances. So we are really toying around with regards to that. And it doesn't belong to Kopano Chorus, it doesn't belong to Monty Manamela. It belongs to whoever else who can come up with results. So that is actually the attitude that we're employing.
Speaking of donation, yesterday we were hosting in the Choralist stream the memorial service for the late Dr. JZM Sambo, our esteemed international MC, and people were implored to donate. I know Monty is not saying people mustn't donate, but he's saying we have to work towards a choral industry that is self-sustaining, that does not depend on donations. And if you would like to donate, here are the details. Use this Capitec savings account, name Dr. Sambo Contributions, account number 169-735-4201. Branch code is that general branch code from Capitec Bank, and you use your name as a reference. This was made yesterday. It's a national call for people to kindly donate on this account. I will put it up again later in the show. So apart from that one concert, was there anything else that you guys were planning to do for the year 2020? Madam Secretary?
Hi, Mr. Njeza.
Yes.
Yes. The second project that we were on is compiling all our music, the music that we've done throughout the years from 2005. You know, we've participated in many competitions. We've even had our own concerts. So we thought we must feed our supporters.
Am I muted?
And
Am I muted?
our chorus. No, you're not.
Yeah, I'm muting you now because we're getting a feedback from you. All right, yeah, you are muted now. Sorry about that. Carry on.
Okay, so we were hoping to compile all our music so that we can feed our supporters, we can feed our members and our stalwarts as well. So we had hoped to compile a DVD. We are still working on that now. And the other thing is that music must be on a platform where it can be downloaded so that it also serves as a fundraising initiative from us. So that was the other project that we are still working on.
That is one of the most important projects, Katlego, because currently I am happy that I'm not a broadcaster like Abo Bulelani Koyo and others, because those guys are really struggling to get recorded music of choirs. In most cases, you would agree with me, they would play music that comes from recordings of competitions. It's seldom you find a choir a new album so that their music can be played. So it's a very good project. It's a very good project. Welcome back. Oh, Umandla Msiza says such a concert still needs to happen though. Noma Ingaba Nini, it's a very great initiative. That one of remembering the fallen choralists. Mr. Diteko, welcome back. I think
and you know, Mr.
Let's make it official that Pretoria is bad with network. Because all of you are in Pretoria and you keep going.
Except myself,
Yeah.
I'm in the yeah, but I think today it's one of those days, eh?
Yeah.
Sure. Or else Kopano Chorus has a problem. Let's just say.
No, it's sabotage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yes.
Mr. Diteko, now that you're back, is there any project that you managed to do as a choir? Did you actually meet this year? there any project that you attempted, that you did?
Okay, we unfortunately we did not meet this year. Remember, COVID started early in March. The whole thing of the lockdown and what have you. However, we had to encourage the members to try and compose something so that you see the beat continues to compose anything about this COVID. And we had nice music composed by our fellow choristas. The music was trending on Facebook all over. Very beautiful melodies that were composed. We actually were very delighted to find out that we are actually having composers in the choir. They are not just choristas. They are also composers.
Nice.
Great talent that we have at Kopano Chorus. So yeah, unfortunately, my brother, we did not meet, but we have a WhatsApp group for the choir. We are constantly communicating in that group. We are together all the time. We are having fun. Whatever happens, we keep each other updated. Yeah, but yeah, that's what it is. We have not met, but there is movement that's happening.
That's really great to hear. Let me bring back the father of the house. King Saul, you know most the choristers that we have in our choirs. You've got almost everyone that you can find in the society. Those that have employment and those that are not employed, those that are still at school. And yeah, I'm getting a lot of feedback from you. I'm just going to mute you whilst I'm speaking and then unmute you when you speak. So I was saying there are those choristers who find solace when they are in the choir, who find sanity, who find hope, because that's one of the things that we do in the choirs. We bring hope. We keep the faith that things will get better. We make people feel good about themselves. The choristers now, not the audiences that listen to our music. So during this time, fortunately, Mr. Disejo has already said that you guys have that WhatsApp group. But I want to know, how are you reaching out to choristers just to find out how they're doing and what is it that they're doing? What are they struggling with? What are they happy about? What are they thankful for? Just to keep them going. Is there something like that is happening within the choir?
Because I'm not putting on my chasing shoes here. I'm worried I might lose one point that Mrs. Boyce just mentioned that I want to add quickly. I'll come back to that question, if you may.
Sure, no problem.
In the DVD that we are planning to arrange, rather, we're going to mainly need, our area of focus is rehearsals. Because remember, what you see as a product, you are not even sure about the reactants. So our area of focus to saying, see how we cook it. If you are interested, really, we want to put, before we can put the final product on stage, we're going to take people through the stages, that this is our rehearsal, this is what we've been doing before this. So the area of focus is mostly in the rehearsal more than the actual performance, because we want to believe that everybody was privy to can see the performance, but only the selected few could see the rehearsal. So we want to say, see us through. We are like this. This is how we conduct our rehearsals. I think maybe that it was just an omitted point with regards to the DVD. Now, speaking to your question, you see, in life, you meet people, they become strangers. And then they get a point where they become acquaintances and friends and so on and so on. And then up to a point where they become brothers and sisters. And in our choir, we actually call each other Buti Sesi. This is how we call each other. And this is how close we are. And even when I say Mr. Ritshokere brother, it's not because of by default or I'm lacking or maybe I don't know how to address him, because I see a brother in him. So even out of the group, the bigger group, we've got personal relationships. I can even tell you now, I may not drop names. We've got one member of our choir now who's really struggling. He's trying to raise funds because he has some lump that is actually going through. I spoke to people like Mr. Wiseman Mukize to help us to get help medically and so on and so on. So I'm just trying to show you that we have that relationship that one can trust you to say, I'm not well. How can you help me? Even if it's not about the depth of your pocket, but can you just tap into that space of that person that you know who can really help me so that I can be like you and become healthy again, you know? So we are very tight, but we cannot run away from the fact that we are not gadgets. You know, sometimes we tap into each other's toes, but there's a way that we can always go back and say, let the bygones be bygone, you know? So we don't have tall walls around ourselves. And the one thing that I like about the organization is, Mr. Njeza, if you wrong me now, I don't mind. I don't even care whether you are Mr. Njeza. I'll tell you straight, Mr. Njeza, this is wrong. And I get the same favor from the same people that I work with, which it keeps me healthy and it keeps them healthy. So we are perfect, no problem.
No, that's great. That's great. You know, choral music is seen like this exclusive, you know, group of people who are interacting within that small space. You know, we don't actually take it out to people. I'm actually taken by the point that I might not be able to assist you, but we can also tap onto those people that follow choral music who are not necessarily practitioners within the sector. And that is why it's important that choirs like yourselves are able to go out and tell people this is what we are doing and this is the kind of support that we need. So I'm glad you actually shared at least these two projects that you were planning to do for 2020 and that you are not giving up on these projects. Because as you saw the comments that were here on the screen, people are worried that you might actually abandon these. For instance, this one, Okin Napita, this is the year to put everything on black and white and plan very huge and seek all the sponsorship so that this concert happens early 2021. Yes, so you are getting that kind of encouragement from the people who are watching you. Let's take a little break. Let's take come in. You can speak.
Okay, I wanted to say something before we go for break. You see, we've got another group. We call it Stalwart Group, KC Stalwart Group. And I think I'll be failing within my responsibilities if I'm not going to comment them. It's actually our former members of Kopano Chorus. We then decided, you know, in life you don't lose people. You must always make sure that when you walk with the people that you started when you started standing with things, creeping and started crawling and so on. Then we created that group. It's almost like a patron group. They are our patron. Now like we wanted to, you can call that. Originally, this idea comes from the lady at the corner here, Mrs. Boy, said, you know what, I can see people are doing the relief funds and so on and so on. And we've got people in our choir who are really working, and we've got people in our choir who are really stranded. How can we have a relief fund from Kopano Chorus? And then we engage the executive committee, and then we engage the Stalwart group to saying, guys, how can we help our own people? Before we can talk about Department of Arts and Culture, what is it that we can do for our own selves? And then I'll punctuate at that. You can go for break, Mr. Njeza.
Yes, thank you very much. I hope I hope other choirs who are listening right now will actually take that advice, because I'm taking it as an advice that the members who get so busy because they are working or they're running companies, and now that they don't have time, they then stop singing in the choir. You can always engage those people so that they support the choir, not only by going to shout in the halls, but with resources. They can support the choir with resources. Ladies and gentlemen, I am sitting with Kopano Chorus. The time now is 24 minutes to 8. This conversation ends at 8 o'clock. Mr. Manamela spoke about that in the DVD, they are going to let us into how they prepare. When we were testing the stream with your two leaders here, Mr. Manamel, I asked them a question that how is this guy in the rehearsal? Because he seems nice out there. So I'm going to play something and then we continue with the conversation. Seeing that, Katlego, you are the only chorister that is left on the screen. Can you, where is Katlego now? Let's see. Okay, she's back. Seeing that you're the only chorister on the screen, Katlego decided to leave you behind. So, can you take us through how the preparation, specifically for those two pieces, what came to mind when I played the two pieces? I'm interested in knowing how you guys prepared for that.
I did not hear the second piece. I heard Mfazi. What was the second piece?
It's Yashingoma. You would remember. That's Yashingoma, 2017.
Ah, okay. I did not see it, but our preparations are basic. We attend rehearsals regularly, and there will also be camps that take place. Mfazi is such a beautiful piece, and we were blessed to have Methodists as well as Christians in the choir who actually took us through the piece and what was actually happening when that scene took place. And we were also quite blessed to have umfundisi in our choir, because that piece was not an ordinary piece. You know, even the presentation, nena le moya, if I can say that. You know, so in everything we do, we pray about it, and we pray for oneness. We pray for unity, you know, so that all our plans can go well. And then secondly, because that piece was what it was, you know, I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, we had to make sure that in Alimoya, and that's how it reaches people, because that's the most important thing, is how it reaches people and how it impacts and changes their lives. So that's what we did with the piece. So it was well interpreted by the choristers, by the conductor, by umfundisi, and all the role players.
Did this guy tell you that he betrayed me? Your conductor?
No, he did not. He did not tell me. He did not tell us.
No, this guy changed umthetho, because I know he was going to sing umthetho in 2015. And then he changed and betrayed me. And he calls himself my friend. Monty.
Yes,
I need to say something.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's something that is going on. Can I tell what really happened in that
I know
year?
what happened.
And okay, you can say it. Mrs. Boyce?
Yes, I'm here. I think you had planned to go ahead with Mthetho, and then I think when we were in Cape Town watching the Old Mutual National Choir Festival regional eliminations in Cape Town, we sent you recordings and you were taken.
No.
I can't remember exactly.
No.
Tell us.
I was in Cape Town myself. And you and your husband, you were in Cape Town as well. Mr. Njeza did Umfazi. And then I came to you and your husband. I said, I'm sending executive committee a message now. They must print a new music now. And I even told Mr. Njeza, you know what? I'm going to change this song. Umthetho, I'm doing Umfazi. And the first rehearsal when I went to the choir, because I sent the message when I was still in Cape Town and said, guys, next week we're changing this song, we're doing Umfazi. They just did music as usual. I went to a rehearsal. Can I tell you what they did when I came to the rehearsal? I was late. I don't even remember who was actually coordinating the rehearsal. They were singing it like a very tired song. And when I came into a rehearsal, the very first time when I got into a rehearsal, I don't know what you call that in English. I got into the rehearsal. Yes, the beat. I got into the rehearsal. They were doing da 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 dee, da. Then I got into a rehearsal and then I started the beat. Bim bam paya dee dum pa. And everybody decided to change and say, "Oh, where was this song? Where was this song?" And that's how we got to change from Umthetho to Umfazi.
So you guys owe me. And I should not have allowed. Actually, you came to my rehearsal that night. I was working with Usis Fefe that night, on Umfaz, and you came in and you said, no, I'm just going to sit and listen. And afterwards, you're saying you're changing my song. So I should not have allowed you into my choir. That's one. Two, you owe me.
No,
Now,
but let's
admit it, you owe me.
No, fine. Owing you, it's one thing, but you must understand, Hore, when somebody is doing something, you get to be stimulated. And
yes, I mean, don't like the fact that you were stimulated in my rehearsal. I don't like that part.
No, I was not stimulated in my rehearsal. I was stimulated during your performance, actually.
It's fine. You are saying in my performance. I don't like that because you changed my song.
Can I shock you, Mr. Njeza? The umthetho that we have left in our rehearsal, I promise you, you'll pick up your jaws from the ground. I promise you.
I'll hold you to that.
and Mr. Njeza.
Yes. Ah, there she goes.
And then there she goes.
At least Mr. Titejo is here. Whilst you were gone, we were just reminiscing on the great performances that you had. If I remember correctly, 2015 and 2017 were your two winning triumphs at NCF as champions. Is that so?
Yeah, I can talk on the 2017 because that's when I was there.
Okay, how did you prepare for that one? Because I must tell you, that year all the choirs in the large section were spitting fire. I don't know how you guys dodged them. I mean, Melisizwe from Swaziland, choir yakhe was just something else. Izwe Adult Choir was spitting fire. You know, in Free State choristers. How did you prepare mentally for that performance?
Yeah, we were very determined. We had actually told ourselves that the 2017 is our year, and whatever comes, we are taking it, and we never lost focus. We kept on going, and I've got to tell you, the songs that we were doing, I don't know how many times they were changed. They were changed every day. Every rehearsal, it was a new song.
I know.
Yeah, that's
when he changed in the orchestra rehearsal. I remember him changing there. That no, yeah, I'm gonna do it now.
Yeah, he will tell you, don't be sure, because tomorrow I might change. That time you are at the camp. You are at the camp from Friday to Sunday. All the days you are singing different things. Then he will tell you, it will only be on the last moment when I'll tell you which one we are doing with. And remember, when we do our rehearsals, we are bringing our pen. We are writing whatever you want us to do on the score. And now when we went to the national, you wouldn't read our scores because it was a mess. Yeah, but we were really determined. The choristers, we thought that, and we were in one voice. So we were so focused and determined, and we wanted it, and we wanted it so bad, and we didn't want to even leave a single whatever. So yeah, but
I could see and commitment.
Yes, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. He kept on saying, sometimes you would want things that you then you ask yourself, but is this guy normal? Like in any way. He will ask for very difficult things. He will tell you, I know it's difficult, but please try. And we will get it right. Yeah, so that is what happened. That was one of our greatest in the what's called in the fraternity. So yeah, that's how it went. We had camps and camps. Yeah, but eventually we slept out a lot that year. We slept out a lot, but we worked. We really worked. It wasn't easy.
Yeah, no. You guys did very well. Mrs. Poise, there's something you wanted to say before we lost you. Kateko, can you hear me?
Mr. Manamela is, yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Manamela is unpredictable.
Very much.
Yeah, a lot of changes, and what he wants, he will even tell you what I want, I will get. You know, even during our rehearsals, he'll tell us, that is your body, you need to control it. If you are falling asleep during a rehearsal or a camp, he'll tell you, control your body. You know, we are going to do this and we are going to achieve. And by the time you get out of here, you will have learned this music the way it's supposed to be sung. There is nothing too difficult for this man. And he's very proud of us also as choristers. He knows his music and he's very proud of us as choristers. He will always say, I know I'm conducting intelligent people. And that gives us
I'll get back to that. Monty, I surely will get back to that. I just wish she comes back before 8 because we've got about 8 minutes left. And there's one more thing that I wanted to ask you, but this one is important. When I was having a conversation with Mr. Mzwandile Matthews 2 weeks ago, I spoke. That was the first question I asked him: the value of being deliberate in your actions, in what you want, being clear. You know, this is what I want. You go to the choir, you work on it. If you want to develop voices, this is how I want my choir to sound. Kopano Chorus, I know you've been a very good choir from the standard section in the NCF, but I don't remember you winning the standard section. You persevered, promoted the choir to large section, spent so many years on and off. You know, you would win the regionals and just almost win the finals. The following year, you don't win at all in the regionals, but you kept your focus. What was driving you as a conductor now? Because you are the vision bearer of the choir. Sometimes when the conductor crumbles, the choir also crumbles because you're the engine that is driving the choir. So what has kept you going?
Lisa magwala acheche le murahu oyeru na wapilu setata kupili. You see, I'll tell you something, my brother. My target is to beat my own record. And I think we are not interested in trophies. If we can improve from our previous, then we have won. So it's that thing of saying, are we better than last year? If the answer is yes, it means we are victorious. So our victory is measured on our own target, not on the pronunciation of the results. And it's for that reason why many people don't understand why usually I don't get into the hall when they announce the results. Because I believe I'm an artist, and I know it compromises the PR from the sponsor's point of view. But I'm an artist, and I'm not doing these things by myself. There's an administrator somewhere who needs to be recognized as well. Because I'm going to take that check and give it to the treasurer. So the treasurer might as well go and collect it himself. You understand? Because what I have to do is just to paint the picture on stage and descend the stage. And somebody who does the admin must come on stage and do the admin. So to answer your question, our success is not measured by how many times we win a competition, but it's based on, are we able to can beat our own record? Are we better than last year? If the answer is yes, let's keep on keeping on.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Kateho, before we lost you, you were speaking about the incentive of knowing, as a chorister now, the incentive of knowing that your conductor is proud of you. Can you talk to that once more? Because I would love the conductors to hear that choristers do take pride in what we say to them as conductors. Can you talk about that again?
Yeah, so what I was saying is that he always tells us that he's conducting intelligent people, and therefore it instills knowledge in us that what he's trying to achieve, we can get, because sometimes it's what he wants from us is difficult sometimes. You know, Monty loves the sopranos, and sometimes he wants us to sustain long lines, and I mean long lines. You know, and so he will encourage us to say, this is one. And so, you know, even with other ideas, he wants it, and he will make sure that we get it. And like I said, he's proud of us as people. It's not just saying we have a good conductor, but he also says you are good choristers, and he respects each and every single one of us. And that is important. That is important, because when you are sitting or standing, or he's standing in front of you, you know, you need to know that you are good. Just deliver what I'm asking you, and you can.
Conductors, colleagues,
that is my point.
I really hope that you are listening to this. It is important. It is important. There are people whose hopes and trust in themselves got crushed in the choir because they were made to feel like they're not worth being in the choir. They would always be crushed for their singing. They would always be made to sing in front of people. It is embarrassing. So thank you so much, Mr. Manamela, for doing this to the singers. It is important. Now, as we are about to close it, let me once again remind the people that we are asking for donations towards Dr. Sambo. You will be told in due course as to what these donations would be used for. That is the account number on your screen. It's a Capitec savings. Use your name as a reference. If you missed this one, or you know other people who might want to donate, you can contact Mr. Bandile Mngoma as well. You can talk to me as well. Inbox me on Facebook. Then I will then send you to the right people. Ladies and gentlemen, you were watching this evening the choral hour. Choir hour. I'm spending 1 hour every Thursday between 7 and 8 with choirs. You won't see all the other clever people. It's just going to be conductors and choirs only. We're not going to be talking about anything else other than that particular choir I'm talking to. Mr. Manamela, just lastly, what are the plans going forward? People want to know.
My first plan, which I'm about to achieve it now, is to congratulate you, Mr. Njeza, for coming up with these brilliant ideas. We are watching you, my brother. The sky is the limit. Keep on keeping on. I think if we are unable to can praise you, nobody's going to praise you. And I always tell people, or graves does not want information, and grave does not want ego and pride. So we are proud of you, my brother. Outside that, as for Kopano Chorus, like the lady and the gent here, they did mention, we're still going back to the drawing board. We are going to make sure that the concept of our own stalwarts, we're going to see it through. That is our primary objective. If it means Kopano Chorus might close its eyes and rest, but for that project, we'll resurrect and make sure that we see it through.
Good luck with all of that. My two leaders, your goodbyes.
Yeah, maybe if I come in, On behalf of the management of Kopano Chorus, we really want to appreciate the support that we receive year in, year out. And we want to appeal to our supporters that they need to continue supporting us, because without them we are nothing, and that they should always keep on being by our side. Thank you very much.
What I would like to say is that it is indeed a difficult time. This time of COVID-19 is very different for all of us. A lot of people have lost their lives and their livelihoods.
I wish I could read her mind.
Yeah, man. Every time she says something brilliant, she just goes missing.
Yeah. But can I just steal this second, Mr. Njeza, if you allow me?
All right, no problem. Go ahead.
I've been receiving messages on my WhatsApp, and I think it will be a bit unfair if I don't mention this. One of the guys, Jeki Chokwe, said to me, we should not own the problems that we are going through in Kopano Chorus with regards to the patient that we've just mentioned. And then he's saying, you guys must open an account. Open an account so that we can really help you with the medication for this person so that we can see him through and he become healthy. I want to humble myself and ask you, Mr. Njeza, to saying this is beyond us. We might not be able to can coordinate it very well because we actually are a patient. Because remember, if the thumb has a problem, it means the hand has a problem. Yes. So it will be a bit difficult for us to can coordinate it on our own. So if you may, if it's possible, you can speak to Mrs. Boyce between you and Mrs. Boyce, and then you can give you the name of the guy offline, and then see how best we can assist this gentleman. That will be our greatest pleasure.
I heard you say, we will do that. We will do
Thank
that.
You.
Once you can finish up, because we lost you as you were saying your goodbyes about COVID-19.
Yes, Yes, I was saying it's a difficult time for all of us. A lot of people have lost their lives and also their livelihoods. Especially in the choral music, it's very difficult because most of the people are freelancers, you know. But what I want to say is it will be over. And in the meantime, let's hold hands. Where people need help, let's get in contact with each other and see how best we can assist each other. Like Mr. Manamela said, it's not only a problem with rents and cents, but people are going through a lot. People are grieving, you know, people are losing jobs, livelihoods in general. So let's just be there for each other. It will pass and we will go back to our lives again, where we have competitions and concerts and we meet and hug and kiss again. Maybe not, but let's keep the hope alive.
Thank you very much, colleagues. It's been wonderful talking to you. I wish you all the best with your plans going forward, and I hope we won't be losing any more choristers. It's enough now. Ladies and gentlemen, next Sunday, we're talking to these women of great importance in choral music. Dr. Yoli Nompula, Umama Ulindelwa Nqatha, Umama Unomamfenyana, Umama Unomonde Majiza. We will be chatting with them. Unfortunately, Umama Vera Motsilanyane could not make it. She's busy on that day. I also needed to have her with all these great women. It's been the first choral hour with Kopano Chorus. Thank you so much and good night.